covered.
Right.
I think we put Taylor on every. He would go for 2 hours.
Oh, lovely.
That's her son. Our Taylor. Yeah. That's her son.
I wanted to laugh.
I know you're
Okay.
There's one. Okay. Lovely. Oh, thank you. I can't wait. That's all. Signature dish here.
And when you guys are done, if you just put your empties in this, in the tote, because that's other
Paying you unnecessary compliments.
Are you okay with me touching
You dress my chronic slouching.
I'm pretty sure you've already had COVID and come through.
Yeah,
So.
I think so.
How are you doing?
Hi, Corinne. Just get that thing. Someone can. Yeah, Tyler can.
It's been 20 minutes.
Hi, Heidi.
I just hear it.
I know, right? I know.
Feel that.
So Melissa's her chef.
So
I'm feeling pulled up. Are you a caterer?
I want.
I work for a caterer. I work for Judy Wood,
Bring up.
Dale Wood. Company goes to,
hi, everybody at home. Awesome. How are you?
Yeah, you're not.
This is a nice space.
Yeah. Great space. I didn't know it was so
Hey, Myra, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Just a warning, everybody. These are full cans of wine, so it's like a glass and a half.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the battery, right?
That's gonna be a problem.
And we only have Patricia later says, oh, I only got 1 glass of wine.
more and more of a burden.
I don't need a taxi and. There's one on.
Help yourself to drinks as well. There's
Pinot Noir, 17
rosé
cans, and all their stereo down to
At least that's all nice.
So I'd like to take this moment to speak to you all at home. I am your entertainment.
I'm watching today. We're going to office.
So you can see the chatting here, so people can do stuff, and then.
I have no idea.
Well done.
I'll be better at speaking. No, I'm the one I get my new job. I'll be
It's just the live stream link. There's always no. Like under construction, and the noise is like 24/7. Yeah, so they kind of quiet. So, everybody's out there.
Smile. Act like you. I thought you liked it in your birthday.
Who do I know?
Yeah, so they're gonna be
Yeah,
let's go to the next step. And maybe now they can't leave, that's, and then it's so frustrating. And you're like, it's gonna be an hour. It's gonna be so hard.
Yeah, super like.
Yeah. Oh, but it's funny, they're moving, they walk from where I'm sitting. And Alex was just one walking the other side. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's like this, right?
Yeah.
2 block radius, so everyone concentrated. Everyone
Are you able to double duty?
Totally.
Mainly just need to watch this. If anybody says anything, but otherwise. Hey Lisa. Hi. I don't know what to say. I
The bar is right behind you, so you're in a great spot. It's also.
I love that bar.
And if you want water, there's cans of rosé, 2 different kinds of beer, and one for some country.
I'm very good.
I didn't know where I was going.
Do you have any fire?
All I have is Edmonton, so he's in there. I mean, I guess sometimes I did have a trip for the. Well, either way. Well, we paid for half the bottle, which half the other half was find anybody yet? How about And then I get up and my husband goes, don't step up with your knees. I had one in CSMT training. I literally had to come up and waiting for like I'll stand up and maybe the first thing like, oh, this looks good. Yeah, your program. Let's stand up and try everything. And so I still sit my camera because I was trying to oh my god. This will be fun.
Oh my god.
That's the hope. But that's going to be like incessant whining.
So you need to get one of those like watch iPad with that so you can watch something.
Well, you older ones, they're not.
I see about
This way. I was here first. We were in your dress. Well, thanks. Yes, of course. And then I was like, 1 to 1. In your head, not a 1 to 1. I thought that was a figure of work.
Riley also wants to do me.
Oh, please. You're not grown up.
My wife will have
You need to celebrate these days.
You should just make everybody jealous by walking in front of the live stream on the street. We're just trying to make it. Yeah, we're just trying to make it. Like you're here.
She doesn't understand she broke my foot. Like right here. Is there a lot of conversation going on here?
Oh, we have 20 people.
Oh!
Yeah.
So they're just looking at the blank wall right now?
That.
I'm not fine. Like, I don't know why.
A little bit, yeah.
So I'm saying, God, I wish we were there.
I'm gonna show them. Do you guys want a little look around? I'm gonna show you around, and hopefully I can get the laptop back in position after. All right. So say hi to everybody tuning in.
So he wasn't
Hopefully I don't make you all dizzy. We've got about 24 people online right now from the agency. So we've got NTL, Chris is there, Jenna, Paula, Loida, Kate, Tash, Jenna. We all say hi.
There's a lot of food here.
And wine.
I don't even know who you
Okay, Shelby, this one's for you.
Yeah, it's quite awkward. How'd you guys meet?
It's only funny if you would have asked me. That's what I said.
I'm not sure if it looks backwards on my end, but maybe you guys will be able to see it there.
Yeah.
She called me, she's like, "Can we met in I'm ready to be here. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm really nervous." I was like, "Given the circumstances, I think it's okay." She's like,
I always wonder. After I'm pretty sure.
We'll be, we don't care. You don't care.
She's looking for another.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say, 'cause it's not up as far as. That gets you Sorry, you guys. I'll just walk in front of you. I'm just sad for it.
He's Australian. He's so he says they're hired absolutely straight. So he's that's so true. I find it hard to go to just mop that stuff out. Not to get it, like every night and then I it was like 30 straight. Yeah, you can't go to what else do you do? Because like just the nice I don't even know where to get started. He's and then like 2 hours and I'm like, what's happened? It hurts so bad. There's no actually time on my phone. It's high.
But there's always.
Thanks, Greg. That's taken care of. Oh, it's not but I wouldn't want to.
Am I too tall? I've never seen it before. It's fine. It's just the tell that I'm standing behind. I'll just unplug it. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. It's all good. Okay, I think we should probably get we're almost right there, people.
Clearly, you took a miss. That could be one way.
Okay, if I can just have everybody's attention before you get started. Save those stories for later, Patricia. We want to hear them. It's all good. No, it's all good. I want to hear the stories. Welcome, everyone. Wow, that was really, my mom voice is so good. I like it. Thanks, everybody, for coming. And thanks to all of you who joined us on the live stream. Tara is amazing. Look at her go. Well deserved. So welcome, and thank you for being here. Before I get started, Jessica will be coming up in just a moment. I just want to get through some housekeeping stuff for everybody. Everybody that's here, you guys know where it is and clean your home, but the washrooms are just outside the door between the two stores. You go down the stairs and to the left. We have face masks and hand sanitizer right there. And as you know, everything's been pandemic Eyes, yes. I love made up words. That's my favorite thing. So yeah, we're all having a good time here. We wish that more of you could join us, but we totally understand why you are not. And hopefully we will be sharing everybody's stories and we'll all have some good laughs anyway, the best way we can. We've, I think at the agency gotten very good at figuring it out, and that's what we're doing. So if I could just, exits for everybody as well. If the fire alarm goes off, that door with the big diamond window on it, we just go straight out there and straight out into the parking lot. I believe it's the same muster point as central office. If you happen to be downstairs in the washrooms, there's an exit door clearly marked right by there as well. And if you're out in the store shopping, because Cookbook Company is amazing, just go out the front door. We are actually at Cookbook Company in their space for cooking classes. And it's a great space, so I think we may end up here again sometime, which would be great. So if I could just invite Jessica up to do land acknowledgement.
So our land acknowledgement to start us off today. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge this celebration is on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina, the Stoney Nakoda Nations, Métis Region Number 3, and all the people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. Our theme tonight is She's the Reason, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but Patricia's the reason that spirituality isn't a dirty word at Catholic Family. And so I'm going to start tonight, we often do with reflections, but this is a blessing. And it comes from, this is in the Celtic Christian tradition. Patricia and I both have a love for Ireland. Yes. And so this is a blessing for a leader. And as I read this, I thought, this is everything that you have given to us and everything we hope for the Calgary Foundation, or the Calgary Homeless Foundation for you. May you have the grace and wisdom to act kindly, learning to distinguish between what is personal and what is not. May you be hospitable to criticism. May you never put yourself at the center of things. May you act not from arrogance, but out of service. May you work on yourself, building up and refining the ways of your mind. May those who work for you know that you see and respect them. May you learn to cultivate the art of presence in order to engage with those who need you. May you have a mind that loves frontiers, so that you can evoke the bright fields that lie beyond the view of the regular eye. May you have good friends to mirror your blind spots, and may leadership be for you a true adventure of growth.
That was really kind of perfect, actually. I love the frontier part. Very true. I don't know if I'm supposed to look here or I'm just gonna look everywhere. How about that? Well, I'm gonna start today just talking about my own personal experience with Patricia. It's been a hard couple of weeks. I don't know. Tara and I were talking last night. She put it very well. She said, because I said, oh my God, it's starting to get real. Like, you know, we're having our first goodbye. And she said, oh yeah, I just usually keep myself focused on tasks and then I don't have to get vulnerable. And I'm like, that's what I've been doing the last 2 weeks. What can I do? Okay, we're doing this, we're doing this. And now we're actually coming to the point where I have to start realizing that you are leaving. I can't read with this one. Yeah, there have been a lot of tasks. You leaving is a pretty big deal for everyone. But when I look around, I know we're all ready. You've given us that power to be empowered. We're not suddenly trying to fill a space. You've always given us access to that space. When I first met Patricia, I was working admin in oil and gas. I met her because Warren Stowe, the chair of the Upward, his daughter goes to school with my daughter, and we were having dinner at their house, and his wife Laura was telling me about cuddling babies and how she volunteered to cuddle babies, and I was flabbergasted that you could actually do that, because that is like one of the things that I love more than anything. And we started talking, and he plied me with a couple glasses of wine. The next thing I know, he's giving my number to Jessica and saying that, Lori, you got to be a part of this organization. So I started volunteering. I hooked up, but I talked to Elise, I talked to Jessica. I actually didn't get to meet you because you had to go on, you had your baby early. And so that's when I started coming on. And then met Elise, and I started volunteering. First volunteering I did was at Louise Dean for the gift making on a budget. And enjoyed that so very much with all the students, and so great. And then I talked New Vista into doing a fundraiser for Stampede so that we could give it to the Louise Dean Center. And that's when I met Patricia, when we did the check thing, you know, when you hold the big check up. And we went out for lunch, and I had I'm like, who is this woman? Like, she was already telling me these amazing things that made me just feel like, wow, I didn't realize how great I was before today. And you know how she is, right? Like, she finds the good things about you and shares those with you, especially the things you don't see about yourself. And so after that, we kept in touch because she just was somebody very special to me. And I knew that she was going to become something more than just somebody I gave money to one day. And we would meet for coffee, and a position opened up, and now here I am as her EA. Had to run the gamut of Holly and Byron, and but I'm here. I am in a position that I didn't think that I would be able to necessarily do a few years ago. But Patricia believed in me. I've had good bosses before, but none like you, Patricia. None like you, because you have this innate ability to look at somebody and see the gifts they have to give to the world, and then you help them to, first of all, realize them themselves, and then give them back to the world, which I think is probably the best gift ever, because that's what is going to make this world a better place. And I am so grateful to have met you. I'm so grateful that we're friends, and that I consider you a mentor to me, and I hope that no matter where you go in this world, that we will always be in touch, and I can always get that wisdom from you. She challenged me to believe in myself when I didn't think that I could necessarily believe in myself, and I have learned so much from you over the last it's been almost 2 years now. But I've learned so much about myself, and leading, and being a part of things, and giving back, and thank you so much. Sometimes you need that person to kind of push you through that door. And she pushed me through that door. She just kicked it open and said, here you go. And I'm grateful for that. One of the things that you said to me before, Patricia, was never lose your voice, because that is why you're here. And that is the thing that I'm going to take forward with me, is I will never lose my voice. The things that I believe and the things that I think are true are important. And I wouldn't have said that before. So thank you for pointing that out to me. Thank you for being my friend and my mentor. And thank you for everything you've done for me and for the agency. I'm gonna miss you crazy, but we're gonna have to go for a while here, so thank you. So before I get all, teary-eyed, which is too late, I would like to invite Byron and Jessica to have a few words.
Tony?
Come up.
Byron and Jessica, both of us.
2 years apart.
We always joke around about how it's okay to have us
Like
up at
one of
separate
us doing
times,
something,
but-
but no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this here. Well, Byron, I want to thank all of you who are here in person or live stream to help us celebrate Patricia. This is a really important day for CFS and a big honor for us. So Lori's the mastermind behind this event, and when Lori and Byron and I were starting to do planning about what today and our event tomorrow with the external folks was going to look like, Byron and I kind of jumped right into logistics, where it was going to be and who was going to be on the invite list and all that. And Lori was like, guys, I don't think you understand how special this is. Okay, probably some of you have been told by Lori, you were told. But one of the things Lori said was, she said, guys, Patricia's the reason so many people are involved with CFS. She's the reason we serve young dads, have bookable counseling appointments, and run the FAST program. She's the reason CFS is such a great place to work. And it didn't take us long to figure out that she's the reason would make a great theme for celebration. So thank you, Lori, for that. And Patricia, we want you to know what you meant to us, what's changed for us, the agency, and the people that we serve.
I'll jump on the heels of that. I can barely look at Patricia right now. I'm gonna stare into the camera for the live streamers. And for the live streamers, just so you know, this is one of the few things I've been able to educate Patricia on, as opposed to the other way around. This is what we call the Asian flush. So I'm despite what it may look like, I'm not actually hammered. This is a few sips of wine. So, but as Jessica and Lori have mentioned, she is the reason is the theme. Jessica just rattled off some very significant things of which Patricia is the reason. I'm going to follow on the heels of that with a very anticlimactic of she's the reason I'm here. So I know that probably is met with mixed emotions of how people receive that. She's the reason I'm here. She's the reason that I remain here. And as we've already heard through a few of what's been shared, this is going to be a common theme that runs throughout my speech, Jessica's, and whoever else I imagine will be coming up to speak about Patricia and what she's meant in their career and in their personal life so far. So, alongside that, she's also the reason that Jessica and I stand before you here today, alongside the leadership team, alongside everyone in this live stream and everyone in this room, with the incredible responsibility to try to carry on the incredible vision and the incredible legacy that you have almost single-handedly built for this organization over your 27 years, sometimes like around 20 at CFS and your 9 as CEO. And I'll let you in on a dirty little secret that most of you won't be surprised by. I'm standing here in this role, not because of any particular brilliance on my part, or because I hold any dirt over Patricia that I would release if she were to otherwise, but because she's given me every opportunity to lead, every opportunity to grow, and every opportunity to fail. And there's been a lot of that. So, and it's because of every one of these opportunities and every single one of these experiences, no matter how well they went or how badly they bombed, that I have developed the confidence to lead. And this confidence to lead has completely changed the course of my professional career. So as you all know, Patricia has been unrelenting in her pursuit of a leadership culture. And who better to set the bar for what a leadership culture is or what it looks like than the most empowering boss I've ever had. At the time I joined the agency, many of you will have heard the story through our meet and greets, but I was a washed-up lawyer, coming back from my time in Africa with no clinical education or background and zero experience in the nonprofit sector. So as you can imagine, I was a hot commodity. And so, as a result, most organizations weren't even allowing me a foot in the door. Whereas Patricia actively sought after me after she was connected to me through a former board member. And not only did she invite me in, as Patricia does, but she empowered me to lead from day one. She never let me get away with playing the new guy card, which many of those that have worked with me over my first year know that I tried to play extensively for the first year of my career here at CFS. And despite her having at the time served with CFS for 23 years and been the CEO for 5 years, she was genuinely open to my influence as if I had. She never once treated me like a junior, even though she may have found many reasons to do so. Instead, she found every reason to give me opportunity after opportunity, no matter how unlikely or unfitting a candidate I was, and no matter how poorly the last experiment may have went, to step in and lead. And a couple of poignant examples of that. I remember walking into my first joint supervisors and directors meeting 2 months into my time at CFS when I was looking at everything through rose-colored lenses. And coming shell-shocked, as I participated in the meeting and hearing about leaders questioning whether they were on the right bus, talking about the trauma suffered through the 2017 United Way RFP. And perhaps worst of all this talk about leaning in, which I still admit I have no idea what that means to me. And Patricia challenged me to speak up. I tried to take the diplomatic approach of, again, playing the new guy card and offering that I was being humble and intent on listening and soaking it all in. And Patricia was not having it. I realize that some of you may find it hard to believe that there was a time where I had to be challenged to offer my opinion and to speak. But that's what Patricia did. She said, that's very nice that you're here to listen, but I hired you because of your competencies and the fresh perspective that you bring and who you are. And I want you to speak. I want you to share your opinion. She hammered home that if I was to be part of this agency and particularly part of the leadership team, that my opinion mattered. And as Laurie said, my voice mattered. And no matter how many asterisks I wanted to place on what I was to say, that has always stuck with me. Similarly, when Holly was here, and I would often consult with both Patricia and Holly at the same time, I assumed that, with the collective wisdom and experience in the room, that my role was to smile and to nod. Yes, ma'am. But she always empowered me to disagree with her, and sometimes even more frighteningly, to disagree with Holly.
Scared me.
And I remember her telling me that, again, that it didn't matter how new I was to the organization. It didn't matter how different my background or my experience was coming in. She hired me because of what she saw in me. And that as long as I had a rationale for why I made a decision that I did, or acted in the way that I did, that she vowed that she would back me and that she would trust me. And again, those are words that have never left my mind as I fumble and navigate my way through understanding what it means to be a leader, understanding what it means to do you proud in how you built into us as leaders. Perhaps most significantly, Patricia, you are the reason that I have felt a place of belonging at CFS. From the time I first started at CFS, and sometimes even to this day, there are times I very much feel a fish out of water. And many of you won't be surprised by that either. But, as a male in a predominantly female sector, and coming from the corporate sector, being raised in a traditional background, I'm offered constant stark reminders of how different this world is with many other facets of my life. And there's been times where I've said or done the wrong thing despite my best intentions, and which would have given many reasons for Patricia to say, maybe this isn't the right place for you. And there's moments where I felt in response that maybe perhaps my only way to survive in this organization or in this sector is to bring a very different version of myself, a very filtered, a very walking on eggshells version of myself in an attempt to fit in. Patricia has been instrumental in ensuring that I can show up to this organization and I'm not crying. We're crying. And be myself. Now let me be clear. She's never hesitated to sit me down, or anyone else for that matter, and challenge me if anything I said or did were to run counter to the values of this agency. Nothing is more sacred to Patricia than how we treat those that we serve, those that we work alongside, and those that support us. She has embodied the word reverence and made it a defining tenet of this agency. But her self-deprecating nature, her openness to dive straight into the things that people often think but are too afraid to say, and her ability to engage me in the light-hearted banter of my Asianness and her ruralness have opened the doors to an environment that is free from the pretentiousness and the posturing and the judgment that are far too often present in leaders and traditional leadership structures. Patricia has always seen past all of the BS to focus in on an individual's character and on their intent. So to sum this all up, this is the culture, the values, the environment in which Patricia has painstakingly built and can hold her head high in leaving behind over her almost 30 years at CFS. And Patricia, as Jessica and I stand here before you today, our commitment is that CFS will continue to be a place where people, staff and clients alike, board members and volunteers, where they're seen for who they are and the potential for who they can become, where people are given the opportunity to lead, and just as important, the opportunity to fail, and are encouraged to show up exactly as who they are. I know that this is part of Jessica's as well, but I'm gonna pinch it. Humanity all else is a mantra that this organization has long lived by and has resurfaced quite a bit over the last little while. I can't think of a more perfect phrase to summarize the way that you have led and the legacy that you're leaving behind. So thank you.
Oops, we flipped over who went first. Well said. The leadership culture that Byron spoke about, I think is going to be one of Patricia's many legacies at CFS. Did I knock that out?
No, I need to plug it in.
There we go.
Sorry.
That's okay. Sorry. Got it? Okay. We're okay.
We're just looking at the view that you're seeing.
Does it look good? Do it look okay?
Here's the big.
Well, it's just that one. It looks fine from here, so.
All right. I'll keep rolling. Hopefully my voice will be enough. Patricia's the reason so many of us know what's possible when you lead adult to adult. And I, for one, have been challenged by Patricia when she sensed that I'm protecting, or at worst, parenting the people on our team. The shift hasn't always been easy, but I think we've learned that people rise when they are given the dignity of the truth. And this is where Patricia walks the talk of our values. She knows that being kind and respectful requires a level of rigorous honesty that can be more than a little uncomfortable sometimes. But Patricia, you have made us believers that this is the only way to lead that allows for authentic, trusting relationships, and I promise you, we won't quit in pursuing the leadership culture that you have created and cultivated over the last few years. For me, Patricia's not only the reason I've had so many opportunities, but also the courage to pursue them. In 2014, when I was supervising the mentoring programs, Patricia asked me to come for a coffee with a donor and talk about our programs. And so I went for the coffee with Kurt Peterson, and we were walking home from Eau Claire, walking back to the office from Eau Claire. And she said, "Did you have fun?" I said, "Yeah, that was great." She said, "What would you think if that was your job?" And I burst out laughing. I said, "That's not a job, but that's the beginning of our director of community relations." So like Byron and so many on our team, she's the reason I know what it's like to have somebody go to the wall for you because she sees something in you. And to the point on what makes a job, she's the reason I believe we do our best work when we're having fun. Patricia told me recently that what really gives her joy is helping emerging leaders launch into their next steps. What she does so beautifully, and Lori alluded to this, and what I think makes her an inspiring, rewarding person to work for, is the way she weaves together the raw talent of unusual suspects, all in the service of our purpose. We would be so remiss if we didn't mention that leadership culture has always been for a bigger ending, pushing for ever better service with total reverence for the people we serve. I've told Patricia, and we talk about this a lot, that 80% of the time I love the way she pushes us, and 20% of the time I hate it. But she's the reason I dig deep those 20% of the time. And it's because I know how deeply she cares about us way beyond employees. When I think about the happiest and saddest times in my life over the last 14 years, Patricia is always in the periphery, either celebrating as much as I am or grieving right along. This is where, and Byron took this first, but I wrote it first, okay? This is where you see Patricia walk the talk of humanity above all else. Patricia, you see the humanity in all of us and invite us to give that full humanity in all of its bumps and bruises to each other and to the people.
Again, thank you to Lori for setting this all up, and the Cookbook Company for, thank you for everyone that showed up online. You know, in understanding Patricia and her nature, the most important thing for her is to be able to connect with people in the room. And so we intentionally left this light on formal programming. With that said, we also know that many of those of you that are online want to be able to share. So encourage you to continue to submit video recordings or written messages through the website, cfs-ab.org/Patricia. And for those of you that are in the room, there's going to be ample time and space this afternoon to be able to share your heart. I've set the tone of kind of stepping up here and being a bit of a blood fool. So no, there's no need to be worried about stepping up here and doing the same. So before we do that, I'll turn things over to Lori.
You should help us learn.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a gift.
Do you want your present?
Yeah.
A very small token of our appreciation for Patricia. It's funny because as Jessica and I were sorting through the details of this with Lori in terms of the event and the gift, we say, you know what? This is where it backfires for Patricia's mentorship. She's ingrained in Jessica and I to be very cheap.
I know.
To be very steward the organization's funds appropriately, but we hope that this gift is appropriate and a recognition of everything that you've meant to us and to the organization. Yeah, so come on up.
Me? Yeah, yes.
Do it all the free in front of me. Yeah, don't step on the corner.
Okay.
So there is actually a part 2 to this gift, but in so many ways, this pandemic made for your surprise so much less than you deserve. And there's a little delay in the other thing getting.
Is it Amazon? Prime?
No,
Not Amazon.
no. And they're gonna have to deal with it.
Look out.
So this is parking, and you can open either one.
Oh, there. Are there people there?
Yeah.
There's 19 people.
I've had when you pick it up, it's all. I've had a full can of wine, which is a glass and a half. I'm not gonna lie, I feel scary. Well, there's 3 things in there, so just so you know.
It's not just tissue paper.
There's marijuana. Yes, lots of it. Okay, here's one. Oh, wow! Yay! That's awesome. You do know I have one. Well, now you have, two more.
Keep going.
Yeah. I like extras. There's a lot. Oh my god. Oh. There's 2. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, one for you, one for him. Oh. I love
Well,
that.
you have to figure out on that.
Of course I do. Oh, and here's my t-shirt.
And you probably donate.
I will donate tomorrow. Yes.
That was my message. I'm like, no, she
Yeah.
still needs to
I
donate.
love it. You want to tell everybody what that is? Yeah. Tell everybody what that shirt is? You know, so for the gala, one of our board members, Suzanne Brensky, donates every year t-shirts. And we were going to be selling these for a donation, and we still are. If you would like to make a donation to the Alonzo and our Father's Moving Forward, you get a free t-shirt. But I said I want one regardless. And I got one. So that's awesome. Thank you. That's beautiful. Helping shape rad dads. I love that. Because this is what the dads chose, right? As the name. Tyler worked with the young dads, and this is what they chose. Oh, I didn't know they chose it. That's amazing. Yeah, this is one of the choices. Yeah. So awesome. Thank you. There's still one more thing. There's more? Oh my god. This is great. I have to keep going back.
No, you do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a name, right there.
It's the rural thing. We re-gift in the rural. Ooh, is this a gift for Kim? Oh, wow. Thank you. And that's fabulous. Golf course. Thank you.
So that was what Kim suggested.
Well, I told you the other night, I said, I want to go to Kananaskis this year.
That
So
was
that's
probably
great.
well timed. So one more thing to come in, maybe we'll make sure you get that for the next town hall.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. That's wonderful. We won't use it for golf. Gift show. People thinks it's going to be for the golf.
Well, you have to wait for that to come in the mail.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they won't accept that.
I want to accept This is called COVID. Yes. It's very pretty.
No, they sent it to me. It's all good.
All right.
It does look very official, doesn't it? Now, at this point, we were gonna have you, sure, speak if you would like, or I can share some messages from other people.
I can speak.
Why don't you
I'm
speak?
up here.
Yeah.
And I have cut, so.
Perfect timing then.
And I want to continue, so. Wow, it's weird not to see people, right? Yeah.
Watch out for the cord. Just
Watch out for the cord, I'll straddle. Lori, Byron, Jessica, I don't even know what to say. So thank you. And I just wish this could be recorded because you'll never see Byron cry again.
Oh, it is recorded.
So I have been involved with the agency probably, I think it's 27 years, but I've been involved. I took marriage prep from this organization, from Grand County. So I've been around for probably, our anniversary is July 15th next week. And so we probably took marriage prep the year before, so it's probably been 32 years. And it is why I came to this organization was because of Greg Campbell and the values of the organization. But I was thinking about our purpose the other day, and I don't know who I was telling today, Jessica, was my father-in-law died 2 weeks ago, as many of you know, and many of you have had loss. I'm so scared of this. I've been involved with him for 32 years, and him and I spent a bit of time in the last 3 weeks. And one of the things he said to me was, one of my wishes is that our family stay together forever and ever. And the last 3 weeks have been a rock and roll
ebb and flow, and I can talk about this because the white families, well, it's kind of my happy family because my husband's right. They're like batshit crazy a little bit. And there's a lot of, like, there was fractures, there was, you know, it was tense, right? Right down to, you know, the day my father-in-law died, it got rough, right? Because it does in every family, it gets rough. And tension is high and grief is large. But we had this service on Saturday and everybody came back together and we honored who he was and how he was. And you know what? Good enough is okay. Good enough is okay. And that's what we're doing at Catholic Families. We're supporting families to be good enough and that's okay. Right? It's not perfect. It's not what you see in the movies. It's good enough and that's okay because family is forever. And when I reflect on the purpose of this organization, that's who we are. And I'm so proud. One of the things you need to know is when I first started, when I first told Jessica and Byron, they said to me, Jessica said, so you're going to still be a monthly donor, right? That was fantastic. And I, you know, and it's funny, I could have stayed for a couple of more years and moved on in my life. And I just felt the need to move on to something different for the last 3 to 5 years of my career. I just felt the need, and I felt something deep inside of me that said, it's time to create space for the next 3 years. It's time to create space. And I can't explain to you why I had that feeling, but I had that feeling. And this has been one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. One of the hardest. And it would have been easier to stay. It would have been easier to stay. But it was the right thing for Catholic Family Service. And I look at you and I think I'm looking at people. I am so proud of the work that is done in this organization. I think it's the best in the city. I'm going to the Calgary Homeless Foundation, and you've got to know that I will be the biggest supporter of the work that's done and the reverence for people that you will ever see in this community. I will maybe not here with you in spirit, in person, but I will be here with you in spirit, and I will be the biggest person that brags about the services of this organization. So I will always be part of this organization. I will be a monthly donor. I probably will increase it. And it's, you know, a couple of years ago, and I'll just finish this at the gala, I was talking to a coach, Larry Halsman, I was so worried about saying the right thing at the gala. I was so worried about doing the organization proud, and he said to me, you are the vessel and you are privileged to be able to speak the work of the organization, but you are not the work of the organization. You are not. And that really hit me, and I have had the privilege for the last 9 years of speaking about the work you all do, but I am not the work. I am not the work, and it's time to move it on to the next level. So I want to thank you for allowing me to lead this organization, to working with me, to fighting with me, to laughing with me, to tolerating with me. And I will be the biggest fan moving forward that you will ever see.
I brought 4 boxes of Kleenex here today, just so you know, and they're getting used. Good to see. Well, now you may end up coming back up here a couple times if you'd like to say anything afterwards.
Okay.
Right now, it's kind of like open mic, so anybody that's here can put their hand up and come up. I also have, there's cards and pens COVIDly displaced around the tables. So if you want to write something, if you don't want to come up and talk, you can just write it down, and we're gonna create a big package of things. So whether they're videos or written messages, etc. Patricia, you will, when you leave, you will have all of our thoughts and prayers and wishes and love with you always. Anytime you need to look, if you're sitting at the Calgary Homeless Foundation and going, they don't appreciate me around here, you just open that book up and go over. Pop that. You just pop that right in and take a look.
This eulogy.
There's a lot of people, thankfully, thank you to everyone for sending in so many messages. Patricia, there are, like, it's coming in. Like, you should take a few days off so you can read everything. Because you're going to need it.
We'll take it off from Calgary Homeless Foundation.
Yeah, on that side, not this side. You go over the hump first and then take time off. I'm going to read a few if you guys don't mind. Is that cool? Okay. Kathleen Vink. wrote in. She said, she's the reason I'm still working in human services. She's the reason. She's the best leader I've ever worked for. She believed in me and trusted me to always treat clients with humanity above all else. Thank you, Patricia, for always treating me as a professional with so much respect. I'll always remember you and value all you've done. All the best to you. Tanya Demirs, you guys remember her? She's one of the reasons I loved working for CFS. She listened, really listened. She really wanted to get to know you, and I really appreciated that. You will be missed. Wishing you all the best in your future endeavors. Annie Wong. She is one of the many reasons why I miss working at Louise Dean. She always walked into the building with a bright smile, kindness, and positivity. Thank you, Patricia. You were one of the guiding she forces that I was lucky enough to encounter in my career and life. I've got something here from Aloyda. She said, this is her first experience with you. So I met Patricia on my first day of work in the elevator. I knew who the CEO was, but I didn't know what she looked like. In the elevator, she had asked me which floor I was going to, and when I said second floor, she immediately filled the gaps for me. She knew my name, that was my first day. She introduced herself, which I thought was a prank. Honestly, I thought it was another test. She introduced me to the staff, walked me through the hallway to meet the people in the program. I always felt at home. Maybe it's a very rare occasion to meet the CEO for the first minute of your first day at work, but she made me feel not only welcomed, but accepted. The first initial contact that I had with Patricia is something that I will always remember and created a lasting impact on how I continue to work with families and made me stay with the agency. I will miss her dearly, and I know that her journey will create such an amazing impact to others. I just wanted to thank you for all the support you've given this team and wish you all the best. Do you guys want me to keep going? There's a lot of them, you guys. This is amazing. To Shauna, she couldn't be here. She's the reason I will continue to believe in humanity above all else. In the short time that I've been at CFS, Patricia has shown to me what a true leader is. She inspires, motivates, cares deeply about her staff and clients of CFS. She welcomes and embraces your differences while not treating you differently. And to Shauna, I think that is a very amazing thing that you just said there, because that's very true. My best memory is her leaving the office for a break and realized that I was the only person at the front desk trying to reach someone to assist a client who needed support. She offered her help and also came to sit for a while with me to find out if I was okay. Thank you for always showing me the beauty and necessity of positive human interactions. I will miss you, but know that you will continue your great work at the Calgary Homeless Foundation. Congrats and all the best. Oh, that was a good one. They're all good. Benham, our lovely Benham. I hope you're there, Benham. I want Patricia to know it's hard to think of Catholic Family Service without her. I love her sense of humor and I'm going to miss it. I know Patricia not only as CEO of CFS, but as a warm and welcoming person. I saw that over and over in our meet and greets for our interns. She has a good way of making you comfortable, even if it's the first time you've ever met her. I will also miss her special pizza at her house every year in September. I have never been a part of that, but just so you know.
It's epic.
And he's going to join us. He should hopefully be on the call soon. And this is from Shelby. Patricia has always been so welcoming. When I first started at CFS, I had a meeting with Patricia and she made me feel right at ease. She got me excited about the work CFS does, and I was so happy and excited to be a part of it. Patricia was always so approachable, and whenever we crossed paths at staff get-togethers or other events, she always took this time to say hello. I know she will make big changes wherever she goes, and I wish her all the best. Karen Lombardo, who's here, but she's chicken, so I'm reading it.
Do you want to go up and read it? No, this is it.
No,
No, I've got a funny story.
oh, we'll get to those. Have another glass of wine, everybody. We want to get to those. And if you have them out there, send them our way. Dear Patricia, your kindness, generosity, and always taking the time to listen have been so appreciated over the years. It's been 20 years together in the agency for you and Karen. That's amazing. Oh, you guys. That doesn't happen all the time anymore. And we've had so many laughs and cries, but way more laughs. It's so hard to believe that it's been that long. You're truly special, and I wish you all the best in your next chapter. Now I've got 3 more biceps of me. I got like 9 more that got sent to me over the last little while. So I think maybe what we can do, does anyone here have a story or anything that they'd like to share? Vanessa's coming up. We're gonna break this up a little bit, you guys. Feel free to.
Well, mine's pretty nice too, but I'm gonna have to duck out, so I wanted to make sure I got a chance to say something to Patricia. When I was thinking about she's the reason, similar to Byron, I'm pretty confident in saying Patricia is the reason I have my job. There's a real value at Catholic Family in investing in potential and investing in fit and not just what's on a resume. And I'm always so grateful to work for an agency where that is lived, and I know that comes from you. I've learned so much about the leader that I want to be as an aspiring new leader. And I think that investment in potential and fit also goes with investment in people. When I started at Catholic Family as an intern, pretty much a couple of months into my contract, I knew this is where I wanted to make my home. And I'll just share a little personal story that I think really solidified that for me. So many of the folks on the counseling team know that my life got turned upside down a little bit last summer with my family. Where overnight I pretty much found myself with my sister and her 2 young children living in my 1-bedroom apartment with me, leaving what was a very difficult situation. And Patricia, who didn't know me very well at the time, heard about what was going on. And not only did you really encourage me to take the time I needed to help my family get on their feet, but my sister's new home is currently furnished directly because Patricia connected us with getting some supports for her. She was essentially starting over with nothing, and it was Patricia who helped, was a big part of getting her back on her feet. And I think when that happened, I said, I can't believe the CEO of my organization is supporting me in this way, and she doesn't even know me that well. And I think at that point, I just said, this is definitely where I want to make my home and where I want to grow. And I'm so grateful for how you've empowered me, and I know so many others in the agency to take advantage of those opportunities. And I'm certainly going to miss you.
I can read some of the stuff that people are writing. This is my task.
On the live thing, perfect.
So let me see. Oh, Amy St. Jean texted and said she wishes you all the best. I'll pass that along. Yeah. Amy Huntby says best wishes, Patricia. Oh, Kate was gonna guess who the people were by listening to their voices. NTL CFS, I don't know which Never Too Late person it is, but hi everyone, hope you're excited for all your new adventures, Patricia, even though you will be deeply missed. Jenna says the decorations are pretty.
Who said that?
Jenna.
Yay!
And farewell, best wishes, Patricia, as well. Shelby wanted to see the food.
There's still more.
And then Paula, wishing you the very best in your new journey, Patricia. As sad as it is to see you're leaving, I'm grateful for your leadership and amazing work culture you are leaving behind at CFS. And Chris saying, going to really miss you, Patricia. Enjoy your new adventures.
Chris is such a slacker.
Who hired her?
So those are some photos. And I'm not sure, I'll stand up here. I do task when I'm vulnerable, so that's what I'm gonna stick to. For those of you that haven't looked, we have made the announcement through social media and all those channels. If you have the time to go and look at those posts, like through Twitter, through Facebook, through Instagram, and see the messages that people are also writing there. They've been beautiful too. So no, not the hashtag, just on the for the announcement, and people just, people that kind of have come out of the woodwork and have been following. So I think that reflects the impact that you've had on so many, even when you're not here. Anyone else?
I need 8 horse.
You wrote it on paper though. That's
Great. Draft.
This does feel weird. Okay. I think, I have this picture of you, Patricia, and inflated bonnets, of you sitting down and talking to the students, like, not just talking to do the empirical orientation night or your halfway party, but you just pull up a chair and like, I want to know, like, how are you? Like, how's it going for you? Like, who are you? And I've always loved this definition of love. And it is to pay attention to the small whale. That's the French philosopher. Anyways, I think that's the best definition of love I've ever heard, is to pay attention. And you pay attention to people, and you pay attention to people who I think aren't used to being paid attention to. And that's why I wanted to work with you. I think that since it's just so long ago, a friend of mine is a writer, and he wrote a book called Travels Along the Barricades, Walls. And I think you are someone who takes the walls down. For people, I'm not saying that because of the partnership, but I thought it was entirely appropriate. But of course, Patricia would co-lead a vision around taking walls down. And I think for people who are used to not being included, and who are on the margins of society, I think of, we're talking about health, that your margins are like, there's margins of wellness, and when you're on the other side of the margin, you're not well, and people don't want to be with you. And you're not scared to be with people. You're leaning in by them, like, you lean into people who other people would lean away from. And so I'm just, there's a desk, when you're pulling up, and someone who's not used to anything other than small talk, and I'm the agency that's giving you a program, you're not like that. You're like, having dinner together. Tell me about your day. What are you learning? Do you like Jeff? Like, or no, like, tell me about my guys. Like, and so the quote from the book that I like, I'll read a couple of them. Walls don't divide us. They can make us ill, and they can drive us mad. And I think you know that. And what I've experienced, I've seen it from afar when I didn't work here, but firsthand, I've seen you notice when people are ill and are going mad because they don't have a place of belonging. And I read another book, which is not one of these pieces of paper that I have as part memorized, that belonging, there's 4 things about belonging that qualify for belonging, is for someone to be claimed. It says, I'm with you. Like, you belong here, we're going to share a name, you're part of CFS, you're part of the community. So you're claimed, you're advocated for, which obviously you do, because we're all for people, no pun intended. When someone's thoroughly enjoyed, they belong, and I think people feel enjoyed when they're in your presence, whether they're a never too late student or a staff person who's new or someone who's sad in the hallway, like a person to be brand new or annoyed in an elevator, clearly enjoyed, anticipated, and lastly needed, but your contribution matters. If it's a student or someone we're serving, we expect that you have a great contribution to make to this world, and we're just here to create space for you to be able to stand up. If the wall's in your way, I'm going to help take it down. That's what I can do, and that's what I mean you. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, speaking in Christian voice. There's like some pretty interesting stuff here about what happens when a wall is taken down, about emotional blockage being unclogged, and parts that have been split are united. And I think you unite people by taking a sledgehammer to the wall. And talks about walls, effective living behind a wall of community, how they serve to keep people out who are different, who are defined by either race or not having education or really struggling in life, that someone's got a label, and you just, it's so you. There's a great Dr. Seuss book on walls too, The Butter Battle book. Anybody read it? I don't have it. I've got almost all the rest, but it's an allegory about the Berlin Wall. With the grandfather explaining to the grandson the absurd necessity of walls, zooks and yokes. And I think that's so you. Like, you're like zooks and yokes. It doesn't matter. We're just all one. Like, not that you're zook and you're yoke. That's just stupid. It's just stupid. It seems like it's ridiculous. So what I'm trying to say is that I think that you understand on a profound level the psychic impact of walls. You walk the talk and you lead so well when it comes to community, belonging, and hospitality. I think of you so much when I read the last words of the intro of this book. Talks about, it's why my friend wrote the book. He's talking about why he wrote it. For the people who live against walls, those for whom the walls were built to include or exclude, the walls stand as cold reminders. I need to be among those who butter their bread in the cold shadow of a wall. I want to understand why the walls exist, what they mean to those who live them, within them and how they make us sick. So in February of 2008, because it seemed like as good a place to start as any, I flew to the Sahara Desert. And I think now, Patricia, you are flying to the Homeless Foundation in July 2020, where I have absolutely no doubt your vision and values will see more walls come down, and the people who you serve will move into wellness in their very beings, having lived too long in the shadow of walls. That's what I think about you. One of the things I think about you. And I'd like to end with a poem. It comes back to paying attention. Mary Oliver wrote it. It's called The Summer Day. And it's actually about a grasshopper, but it's really not about a grasshopper. But it's about how you see the detail in a person, not with your own lens. You're seeking to really, really see. It says, who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? The grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and be blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? That's it.
Are you going? Yay!
I saw. I will also
straddle dance.
So not the greatest with words, certainly not the greatest with unplanned words.
That's actually not.
So I'm just gonna say a little bit of what kind of just came to mind, and as most everyone has said today, is that you're the reason why I'm here. I feel like you took a chance on me when, I was an auditor, never had any experience in the industry on the other side, and you saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. You made me believe in myself. You made me realize that you can love your job, which was nothing I ever thought was the case. I thought they paid you for a reason. Like, you might not hate it, but there's no way you're gonna love it. And I feel that every single day, no matter how hard or long the day is, I come back with a smile because of the culture and the purpose and who we're serving, and I truly feel like that's because of you. And so I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm so grateful that I had this little bit of time with you, and I just can't wait to see what a relationship will grow into when you're not here. You are a mentor to me, and whenever I speak about you amongst my friends, which is just like, she is like such a badass boss. Like, the definition. Like, you come in with a leather jacket on, I'm like, God, she's cool. And my friends are like, I'm so jealous that you get to have someone like that in your life. And I feel so grateful for it. I've never taken it for granted, and I won't ever. So I just want to thank you, and I wish you all the best. I know you're going to just kill it, and I'm so grateful that you get to work for the homeless population and help serve them, and I know that you'll make a difference in Calgary homeless population.
Hey, who's next? Who wants to get up there? Well, you already cried, Byron,
Julie just sent in a message. I feel like the host of wishing you all the best for your next adventure, Patricia. Thanks for having the vision to create systemic change in the counseling sector so we can serve people in such innovative ways.
Okay, so I'm gonna read a couple more because I got them on my phone. Caitlin, you just said your piece, so I don't have to see. We're done. She sent something in the chicken way earlier. Jacob, lovely, beautiful, pregnant Jacob. She said, "Dear Patricia, You have been a much appreciated and highly regarded asset to the agency. Thank you for all your contributions and for being such an inspiring leader. Good luck in all your ventures. Then I've got Mary. Oh, sorry, I'm doing this on my phone now. It's a little harder. Mary from IT. Patricia is such a gifted and passionate speaker. She truly is an inspiration and has fostered my desire to support CFS through my role. So thank you for all your years of service. Your presence will be greatly missed, which I'm sure many of us believe too. Shoba, am I saying that right? Zoba? I'm so sorry, Zoba. She is the reason why I have been working in this organization for almost 10 years. Since I have started working with CFS, Patricia is always there to support me, and it has been such a great pleasure working with her. She is so kind, compassionate, and caring for me. Congratulations for your new journey of your life. It sounds like something very exciting for you, and I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. Good luck. And then Jenna, who loved my lovely decorations. Thank you.
And they are lovely.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you for the opportunities that I've had within CFS. Although we haven't had many one-on-one conversations, the time that we did have were easygoing, comfortable, and thought-provoking. You will be greatly missed, and I truly wish you the best as you move into your new position. Hopefully, our paths will cross again someday. Tyler Robinson from Fathers Moving Forward. This is a good one. Patricia is the reason Fathers Moving Forward has so many community members in its corner, and I believe that greatly too. She's the reason it will continue to thrive, and you, Tyler, too. Best wishes, Tyler. Stephen Robinson from Marysborough. To the great encourager, thank you for the light you shine around you, which makes it easy to give our best. I would have to agree. That's the light of Christ. I offer you every blessing as you go from a place of light to where the light is sorely needed. Congratulations. That's very true.
That's you guys are good. I want to know if there's something in there from Steven Schneider. I've been waiting all day.
Steven Schneider, you better write something. Chelsea, did you want to come up and talk or no? I didn't know you were coming. Like when I got this, I'm like, oh, she's gonna be. So Chelsea's here, but I'm gonna read her words because
You should be drinking, take off.
I remember, this is from Chelsea. I remember when I started at CFS as a practicum student. I was sitting in the lunchroom on my first or second day, eating alone, and a very nice lady sat down next to me and started chatting. I was so excited to get to know new people and to have somebody to eat lunch with. We chatted about her son's recent trip to New Zealand and my experience as a practicum student so far. After a while, I asked, "So Patricia, what is it that you do here?" I was floored when she chuckled and responded, "Oh, I'm the CEO." Had I not asked, I would never have known that I was speaking to somebody so much higher on the hierarchy than me. But that's the thing, I love that too. Such is Patricia's humility, kindness, and friendliness that has marked my experience of the entire culture at CFS. Her genuine desire to welcome and get to know a brand new temporary member of CFS reflects the genuineness and authenticity that she brings to all interactions. The environment she has helped to create made it a very easy decision when I was job searching later to return to CFS, which I think a lot of people have done from what I understand, and it's nice to have her back, by the way. She will be sorely missed, and I hope that Calgary Homeless Foundation understands how lucky they are to have her, which I think I can all.
I'm not sure we did it yet.
And Amanda Clearwater, this is the last one I have currently. Patricia, you have continually set such a wonderful leadership and respectful culture at CFS. You are always willing to chat with any of us if we stop by. You're continually appreciative of the people around you and offer encouragement. You have been an encourager, and I love the leadership of trusting your staff and team to do their job well. You will be missed. Thank you for your investment in the families we serve, as well as the staff. I wish you well in all your future steps and adventures. Blessings, Amanda.
Stephen wrote and said that it's coming in an email.
Nice.
And I want it to be as heartfelt as flowers.
You better use some emojis. What time is it right now? It's 5:12. We still got some time. Like we're doing good. If there's anybody else here that would like to get up?
I don't do this.
Yes, you do. You do it for Patricia.
Yes.
I don't know where to start, but I when everybody else was talking, I was thinking about Hugh at a staff meeting recently talking about change. And it stuck with me a lot through all of the change that the agency has gone through. And I've been with the agency, I think, almost 5 years now. And it was the culture at CFS that made me come. I had a similar experience in the previous job, and I just knew as soon as I met Hugh that it was a place I wanted to work. And likewise, when I met Patricia on the one-to-one, it was home again, and I just knew that that's where it was going to be, that I was going to work. And so this change thing has just been there with me. And I remember seeing the email, and I could just tell from the subject line, I'm like, no more change, no more change. And of course I read it, and at first I'm like, no, like this can't happen with, like, CMS can't happen without Patricia. And then I, of course, my rational mind, like, all this change that's happened in the last year that you've created has set us up to continue without you. And you will be deeply missed, but we will do amazing things because of you. And thank you for everything that you've given to the agency and to everybody that works for it.
Want me to read the thing?
So
This
is Lisa.
Oh, okay, you can stand off to the side and read it.
I don't really want to read it. I just want to give that, but also just say that since I've been here, I didn't come here for you. Like, I didn't have any connection prior to, other than just knowing a lot about Calgary Family Service, how wonderful an agency it was. I knew I wanted to come here. I was kind of dead set on it, and I knew I wanted to be at Louise Dean. And so, yay. And meeting you the first time was absolutely amazing. Like, you cut to the core of who am I, what am I here for, and search for meaning. And I think that's just who you are with everybody, is you search for meaning, who they are, and help them to shine. And also with the dad's programming, I think have tough conversations about dad's programming, what we need to do, how can it be different. And I also really appreciated your leadership style. I've come from other places where people have shied away from tough conversations, but you've been brave and come into a room full of 20 of us and cut to the quick and got to the core of the conversations that needed to be had, or at least started, and then you left and you continue on, and that's something that I appreciate. I know people are kind of, the leaning in language is love or hate. But I think that you've done it really well, and I've appreciated that about you, and that just helps me to know that I'm in a good place.
Well, I'll go do my roast, toast. I wanted to say a few words, of course. I'm gonna miss Patricia, like everybody else is. What a fine leader. We're kind of in the same cohort as far as age goes. And I remember just the first coffee that we had after I was hired, and she said, so tell me, like, we're around the same age. How does it feel to, like, have a supervisor who's so much younger than you? Okay, we'll start there. I always appreciated Patricia's boldness and being upfront, because I've always just called it the way I saw it too, and that's my nature, so I really appreciate that. Patricia is the reason that I'm at Louise Dean Center. I actually tried to be at Louise Dean Center in 1998, over 20 years ago. I had my son who was 2, my daughter who was 1, and I was in a basement apartment on Elbow Drive, and I was very eager to get back to work. And for those who know me know that when I'm eager, I
like I kind of go after. So I don't know who the director was. It may have been Min or whoever before that in 1998. But when a position for social worker at Louise Dean Center came up, you know where it says no calls, like you'll be contacted.
We'll call you,
It
don't
was like the crazy woman with 2 kids, like redial, like I should get a job. I didn't get an interview that year. Surprise, surprise. But I did become a family support worker in 2000 at Don Bosco School, and that's where I first met Patricia. She was in the counseling department and enjoyed that. That was a contract position for a year. And then I, soon after that contract was over, joined the YWCA, where I stayed for 14 years. After I left the YWCA, one of the first places I applied was Catholic Family Service as a supervisor of FAST, and was interviewed but did not get the job. So went to Children's Services, went to Big Brothers Big Sisters, and also was a contract faculty at, yeah, big surprise, big reveal. But in retrospect, you know what I thought about it afterwards? I know why I didn't get the job as supervisor of FAST. I mean, I went in with one of these Lauren suits, which looked very stiff. It was gray with a gray jacket. I'm like, I'm older, so I don't really look fun. And I'm like, yeah, I can do FAST and play games. And they're probably thinking, square peg, round hole. Doesn't really fit. I thought afterwards I should have really dressed up. Like, I am fun. I play games, blow bubbles, whatever. But I did not look, so maybe, you know, but anyway, so fast forward, I'm at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and then I'm teaching on the side at MRU in the leadership and social work class. And we're talking about strategic plans. So I pull up what I consider to be the exemplar model of a strategic plan in Calgary, and it's Catholic Family Service. This was like, I love this plan. Look, students, how this is all laid out. The purpose statement is so crystal clear. Everything is just, it's perfect. So I'm going over it. And then I'm going to present at a conference on brain science and the integration of brain science when Patricia comes up to me and says, have you ever thought of, like, there's a position open at Louise Dean? I was like, can't breathe. Trying to act cool. I don't need that job. Oh, is there? I might want to work for Catholic Family, maybe. I left that meeting and went to Karen Orsher's office at Big Brothers Big Sisters with my dear friend, and the boss, the CEO. And I said to her, only Catholic Family, only this offer as Louise Dean would ever take me from you and Big Brothers, but this is what I want to apply for. I said, this is an opportunity I've wanted to have for a really long time. So in every sense of the word, Patricia is the reason that I'm at Catholic Family. And the values that she's embedded in the organization are the reasons that I'm here. Because when you get to be my age, I mean, there's holidays and all this stuff, and that's important, but you really need to want to show up, because there's a lot of other reasons why it would pull you away. And I really love that we're Catholic Family Service. I never shied away from the fact that I like Catholic means universal. And I'm really proud that we can have values that are grounded in spirituality, that are open to everybody, but I don't consider it a dirty word. And I lean into the word Catholic and really appreciate it as part of our organization. That's me. So I did want to say, though, that I also know, having spent almost 30 years in this city, in the sector, that is not goodbye to Patricia. I know that we will be breaking bread at a table. It won't be the same table. It'll be a different table, but it will happen because the sector is small and because we all work together as a community to make Calgary strong. And I just wanted to wish you the best. I think you are an excellent leader. I'm sorry we didn't get to work together for longer. There's lots you can teach me. I love how you just lay everything out there and you make people pay attention to what matters. And everything and everyone matters to you. And so it's not about, this person matters because of their position or this person. And I know that just in your walkabouts at Louise Dean and having conversations with staff, you bring them right to the attention, like, this is important. Someone flagged it. Doesn't matter where they are on the org chart. I really respect your integrity. And I know that we'll work together, and I look forward to that again. Best of luck. You're an asset to the Homeless Foundation.
not a public speaker, you know that, right?
Karen Lombardo is stepping up to the podium.
Not a public speaker, and you know that, Patricia. So back in the day, Donna Scott was Briggs Campbell's CEO, or not CEO, but EA, and there was a position open for payroll because Lori Fagan didn't want to do it anymore. And and she'll tell you that too, right? And so Donna Scott goes, well, I kind of know someone that's looking for a little bit of a job. Her kids are like, I don't know, grade 1 and 3 at that time, whatever. And so Donna approached me, and her daughter was a neighbor of mine, right? And had kids the same age as mine and everything, right? So Donna approached me, and I knew her already, and she said, would you be interested in 1 day a week just doing payroll and stuff, right? So, okay, fine. Yeah, sure, I can try that, right? I don't have any background in that and stuff, right? So Lori hired me. I was, at that time, the chair of a preschool at St. Andrew's United Church that my kids were involved with. And Lori Ann Sornaz was our shopper at the time, right? So kind of went full circle, right? So Lori hired me and stuff. And here we are 20 years later, right? So I'm not going to, I'm not going to reiterate everything that everybody has said, because we all know, right? Like you're just a wonderful person, Patricia. I just want to tell a funny story, and I don't know if Patricia will remember this or not, but when she was working with FAST, and she brought that program nationally to Canada, I don't know if anybody knew that. Her and Betty Leps were working in the office where I am now. And Lori Fagan and I were across the hallway where Jennifer is. And we didn't have any of that, the big window, we didn't have any disguising tape. You walk by, it was a fishbowl, you saw what was in there, right? So I'm not gonna name the former staff member, but we used to have quite the conversation about clothes and underwear and everything. And one of the staff members came in one day and was talking about this wonderful bra she bought. And so we had a post out in the hallway to make sure nobody was coming around Ray Campbell, because there was Byron, there's not a lot of men working in the office right now, right? Just in case. And here we are, pulling up our shirts, showing the bras, and this former employee won the race. Like, she had a pretty good bra.
How she filled them too.
Right? Yeah. Anyway. Patricia, I'm gonna miss our walks for coffee to Hope Renfrew.
Yes.
In Spanish today.
Yeah.
And sharing our T3s. I just have to say, we used to share some drugs. I don't do those anymore. Just say it.
Just as we get older, they cause constipation.
Yeah. And since Lori left the office, I don't need them anymore.
We're both pharmaceutical hoarders.
Right. And after Stephen had a major Viking accent, I had like 6 people.
We were so excited.
Thank you for your friendship, your leadership, and compassion. Friends, it's been 20 years. Right? I wish you the best. It's not the end of the relationship. We're moving on. And it's not happy trails.
Anyone else? Have those people. So the little bars that love you in the bra.
How was it? I didn't know that was
That was early days. Early days.
when they were curfew.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna fly if I suggest that as part of an interview.
No.
Just a thought.
Well, we're getting close to 5:30. I think we're gonna continue here a little bit longer. Is there anyone else that's in attendance that would like to step up? I think we've heard from most people, which has been awesome. And we have, the webpage will be open. So feel free, if you're inspired to tell your own story. It can be something heartfelt, hilarious, embarrassing, or all three.
Maybe not yours.
Especially embarrassing.
Especially embarrassing.
Please
Please
in donations.
You already signed the contract, right?
silently, yeah, send Well, that's what I'm here to say. We have another event tomorrow with our boards, both of our boards, and our external stakeholders and some of our donors, and we're having that tomorrow. That'll be a little bit more formal and more, this is us to the world. We're gonna be, we'll still have fun, but I think all of us will all agree, this is the heart of it all. This is the heart of it all, is all of us and our relationships with each other, our connections with each other, and the love and the support and the things that we have together that we bring out to those that we serve. And I say those that we serve so much more now since I've met you. And I thank you so much again. I think everybody here, what a common bunch of themes, eh? I guess that they must be true then. I guess it must mean that they're actually true. You are very self-deprecating, but I hope that when you leave here, that you take this opportunity from today and tomorrow to realize how much you truly have made a difference in our lives as your staff and the lives of the people that we serve. And you've made this community a better place, and you have changed the sector, you've changed what we do. You are an important person, and no matter how much you want to be, oh yeah, whatever, you are it, and you're the reason. So thank you, Patricia. If anyone is so inclined, there's also a link to the Fiber Humanity Fund if you would like to donate. I know that Tara tells me that a lot of you already have, and that's amazing.
And Nanny has twice.
Yes, many people have twice because we've done a few little rounds of this. We thank you greatly. I know this means a lot to Patricia. This is how she wants to say goodbye, is to make a big difference in this. And this is money that we wouldn't have necessarily gotten through any other way. And so thank you all for coming. Thank you all for sharing your love and your thoughts and your best wishes with Patricia, because damn, we're gonna miss you. And thank you.
Can we just drink now?
Yeah.
Now we can just drink.
And click.
Oh, sorry.
Where's the look up our shirt?
What?
You start.
You start.
Oh, you're